Have you ever just stopped scrolling for a second and wondered, what is actually going on behind my feed? Because, let's be real, it's way more than just pictures from your friends and family. Today, we're going to pull back that curtain on the hidden architecture that's shaping what you see, what you think, and yeah, even how you feel online. So let's dive in.
Really, it all boils down to this one huge question. Who's calling the shots? Is it you? Is it the platform? Some invisible algorithm? Well, the truth is, it's a super tangled web, and it's right at the heart of this ethical tightrope that we're all walking in our digital lives.
So, to even begin to untangle that, we have to talk about the fundamental deal we've all made, whether we realized it or not. We've gained this absolutely incredible power to connect with people all over the globe, but that power comes with some serious and often totally hidden trade-offs.
And this quote, it just nails that central conflict perfectly. On one hand, we've built this amazing tool for global community, but on the other hand, we've accidentally created a minefield of privacy issues, rampant misinformation, and some very, very real risks to our mental health.
Okay, so let's zoom right into the personal level. Because the way these platforms are designed, it's not just about shuffling content around. No, it's literally engineered to directly impact our brains.
First up, you've probably heard of this, the echo chamber. See, these platforms are built to maximize your engagement, right? And what's more engaging than feeling like you're right all the time? So the algorithm learns what you like and it just feeds you more and more of the same, creating this comfy little space where your own views are constantly bounced back at you. It feels good, sure, but it's also starving you of different perspectives.
And that leads us straight into a related and maybe even more powerful idea, the filter bubble. This happens when the algorithm gets so ridiculously good at personalizing your reality that it builds this unique little universe of information just for you. It filters out anything it thinks you won't like. Before you know it, you're in a world where it seems like everyone agrees with you, which can leave you totally blind to valid opposing arguments.
And for younger users, this curated reality can be devastating. I mean, it's gotten so serious that some researchers have started calling it a digital pandemic. And that's such a powerful metaphor, right? It's this idea that the toxic side of social media, the constant comparison, the negativity, the addictive design, is spreading like a virus through youth culture and damaging mental health on a massive scale.
Just to give you a sense of the scale here, let's look at one piece of this puzzle, cyberbullying. Studies are showing that up to 35.4% of young people experience online harassment. Think about that. That's more than 1 in every 3 kids. The shield of anonymity online can unleash a kind of cruelty that has severe, lasting consequences in the real world. So with all these obvious harms, from filter bubbles to cyberbullying, the big question is, why don't the platforms just fix it? Well, the answer takes us right into a truly massive dilemma. How on earth do you effectively police a digital space with billions of users posting every single second?
And right at the core of that whole moderation debate is this age-old clash between free speech and hate speech. I mean, where does one end and the other begin? That line is incredibly difficult to draw when you're dealing with a million different cultural contexts, languages, sarcasm, inside jokes. It's honestly one of the thorniest issues of our digital age.
And even when platforms do set rules, they have to juggle 2 competing types of fairness. On one hand, you've got procedural fairness, which just means applying the same rule the same way to everyone. Sounds good, right? But then there's distributional fairness, which looks at the outcome. So what if a rule against, say, spam, when you apply it equally, ends up silencing grassroots activists way more than it silences big corporate marketing? That's when those 2 types of fairness can be in a total standoff. And when that whole balancing act fails, you get what's known as the chilling effect. Basically, if people feel like the rules are a complete mystery or that they're enforced totally unfairly, they might just decide it's safer not to post anything creative or controversial at all. And that fear, it stifles the very conversations these platforms were supposedly built to create.
So, with the platforms themselves struggling under the sheer weight of this challenge, it's probably no surprise that governments all over the world are stepping in. But this has created a kind of global patchwork of different rules and philosophies with no single clear solution anywhere in sight.
And as you can see from this breakdown, there is definitely no one-size-fits-all approach. In the US, the strategy is often reactive. You wait for a problem to get really bad, then you pass a law about it. The EU, on the other hand, is trying to be more preventive with big rules that force platforms to be more transparent from the very beginning. Then you have China's super strict top-down control, and in many parts of the world, like across Africa, the rulebook is still pretty much being written, which can leave a lot of users exposed. So where does that leave us? Stuck between biased algorithms, impossible moderation choices, and this messy global rulebook. What's the path forward? Well, the research points not to some magic bullet solution, but to a shared responsibility. One that falls on platforms, on governments, and yet, on all of us.
For the platforms, it means creating a constant feedback loop. You can't just set it and forget it. First, you have to relentlessly detect bias in your systems. Then, you diagnose where it's coming from. Is it bad data, a flawed rule? And finally, you have to intervene to fix it. And then you start the whole cycle all over again. It's a process, not a destination.
So what about our part in all this? Well, it really comes down to building a few key skills for navigating this new environment. First, don't take anything at face value. Always check multiple sources. Second, get really good at telling the difference between a verifiable fact and somebody's opinion. And finally, and this one is tough, be honest with yourself about your own biases. It's all about becoming a smarter, more critical consumer of information.
And this quote just says it all, doesn't it? Fixing this whole digital pandemic isn't just a job for coders in Silicon Valley. It is going to take a massive, collaborative effort from everyone who has a stake in a healthier online world. And that absolutely includes teachers, parents, scientists, and lawmakers.
At the end of the day, it all comes down to one single finite resource: your attention. These platforms were built by some of the smartest people in the world specifically to capture and hold on to it. So the real question is, in this vast, chaotic, and incredibly powerful digital world, where are you going to choose to focus yours?